Welcome to Best Life Ever, the podcast with your hosts, time and energy coaches, Kimi and Pua. We have an awesome episode for you today, but first we wanted to take a moment to announce our winner of our June iTunes review of the month. And our winner is going to get a Hawaii Health Hub float tank session, a float therapy session. So our winner for the iTunes review of the month is Patrick Gartside. Congratulations, Patrick. Thank you so much for your epic review. We are so grateful, and thank you to all of you for your iTunes reviews. If you are interested in being entered to win our July soon to be announced awesome prize, definitely check it out. Go to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review. They mean so much to us and really helps us to get out there, reach more ears, and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Thanks, Patrick. We also want to give a really big shout out to one of our sponsors and the creator of our newest corporate workshop presentation. It is so epic. It is literally the best presentation ever. And we are so grateful that Yancy and Corey from Empowered Presentations put this together for us. They're amazing. They literally make the best presentations ever. And I'm not just saying that to be like funny with our branding. It really is true. They've created sales pitches, workshops and seminars for like TEDx talks. Mm-hmm. They've worked with LinkedIn, Shark Tank. They have a very impressive resume. And what I love most about Yancy and Corey's work is they believe that your presentation should be an extension of your brand. And they're just so intuitive. Like, we met with them and we just kind of threw some ideas around, but they researched us and our brand and our website and our business, and they really got a good feel for who we are and wove that vibration and that intention into the presentation. And they've created a couple presentations for us, and they've just hit the nail on the head both times. And they're just amazing people. So if you guys have any presentation needs, or if you want any, branding or video or animation help, reach out to them. Empoweredpresentations.com is their website. Let them know that you heard about them from the Best Life Ever podcast, and it'll change your world.
Yes. We promise. And if you want to see our amazing new presentation, you can always book a complimentary strategy session with us and check it out at kimiandpua.com. You know, what I love so much about Empowered Presentations is this quote that they have on their website, I think really captures just their mission and what they do. And they say, let us do what we are called to do so you can focus on what you are called to be. I'm like, wow, that is so good. It's so true. It's like this is their unique brilliance, creating these amazing presentations to help you to capture the ideas and that vision that you have within yourself so that you can just outsourcing for the win. Just like hand that over to somebody this is their unique brilliance so that you can focus on what you're meant to focus on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is, I feel like, a great segue into what we're talking about today.
Yes, it is. And just a little note straight right away is that there is going to be a little bit of swearing in this episode. So heads up on that. We're going to say the word BS, the full version of that quite a bit. And so if there are little ears listening that you don't want exposed to that type of language, we apologize in advance.
Let's just frame this right now Kimi told me a story this morning, and it just really shook me to my core. And she'll tell this better than I will, so I won't tell the whole story. But people actually approach us quite often, and they make comments about like, oh, you must be like, your life must be so good, best life ever, or like, I don't really need like the best life ever, but I just need a little help. Or people will kind of say that they'll insinuate that we live this perfect life, and we just want to acknowledge that and say thank you. We're flattered that it looks that way, but that's not what this is about. Your best life ever is not a perfect life, but it's a life that that brings you joy. And it's not meant for this like select elite few. Everybody deserves their best life ever. It's for everybody. It's for you. So let's just throw that out there. We'll squash the myth that we live these like lives in castles and all of that. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, the story to share, I was just talking with somebody and she was asking for some support with some, stuff going on in her life. And she said that, I know you like best life ever and all that. I don't need the best life ever. I just need like a better life. And I'm like, that's the same thing. That's exactly what it is that we're working towards. And when we came up with our brand and when we talk about living the best life ever, it's really about, sort of shooting for whatever the best life ever means for you. And as Pua said, that doesn't mean that it's going to be a life that is doesn't have any challenges, that doesn't have any, bumps in the road or, stressful things happening or just frustrating things. And we all have that. That's part of life. But living the best life ever for us means that you are willing to be, acknowledge those feelings, move through it, and trust that there are strategies and tools and different perspectives that you might be able to embrace to help you to move through those challenges. And so it's being willing to stay expansive, being willing to stay, to hold on to faith and light and hope and love in your pursuit of the best life ever.
For sure. And we are so, we always say we are so lucky, and then we stop ourselves and we acknowledge that we've created this luck and we've created this life. But I do feel lucky that we are in this business, and Kimi is my business partner, and that we are aware of the tools at our disposal to bring us closer to the life that brings us joy and to get control over the things that we often think that we have no control over. And one of the tools that we use every single week, and you've heard about it probably 100 times, is our best life ever weekly planning. And rather than try to, explain to you again what that is today, because you guys know, we did a process recently that really helped to shift us out of a place where we felt a little stuck. And this and any exercise really requires a little bit of faith on your part, because when things are challenging, it's very easy and very natural to kind of sink down and get small and just like, I won't speak for anyone else, but I get very negative. I'm really like spiteful and like, ugh, whatever. I just have to like get through this. And, I'm short with people. I'm grouchy, and it's easy for me to be that when I feel that way. What's difficult is actually going through the steps and going through the process to actually shift my energy. And that's where I'm just so grateful that I have Kimi, because we do this together, and it's so much easier to have someone to do it with rather than to go through it by yourself. So I just want you to know that when you use this process, we are your other person. So you listen to this podcast, and if you're looking at this on our website, know that we are here to support you and that you are not alone in this.
Yes. I love that. I love that so much. And we were just talking this morning about how important this podcast is to us. And we were reflecting on the fact that this is our 66th episode, actually, of Best Life Ever. And then we had, I don't know how many we had with Hot Bitter Pot, but we've been doing this consistently every single week, not because we have to, but because we love it and we love all of you. And just know that if you're listening to this, it means so, so much to us. And we want to really put this invitation out there to you that if you need support in any way, and if you even going through this weekly process, we can help you in any way, please reach out. Email us. We'll include links in in the show notes here of ways that you can reach us. Join Best Life Ever Fix, whatever. Join our tribe on Best Life Ever, the tribe on Facebook. And there are so many ways to stay connected, and just know, yes, we get it. Like we have times where we feel frustrated and alone, and like we're the only ones going through the shit that we're going through. And we just want you to let you know that we get that, and we're here for you, and you're not alone. So reach out to us.
And I'm going to get in your head real quick and just assume, and I hope I'm wrong, but in case I'm right, that I'm assuming you're just like me, and you hear this and you're like, I should probably do that. Or, well, I don't want to bother them with my little problem, right? I just want you to know that we get so much joy, and we're so excited when we hear from you. And it's confirmation that you're listening to our podcast, and that what we're doing matters, and that you are reaching out to us because we can help. So if you feel like your problems are too small, or that you are bothering us in any way, please don't feel that way. Reach out to us.
Yes.
We'd be like over the moon to open your email.
Yes, I love that so much. I love that. It's so, so, so true. And no, again, circling back, that you deserve the best life ever, not just a better life. Yes, we all deserve a better life. You deserve to feel what we like to call the best life ever buzz. And it is possible for you. And let's get you there, whatever it takes. And we hope, by the way, that the exercise that we're going to take you through today is going to help you to feel a little bit more of that buzz. And that is something that we needed this morning in a big way. So we often will record our podcast after we do our weekly planning together. And that's the case today. And when we started our weekly planning today, we were both like, we could just feel the energy. Although we didn't say it, we could feel the energy. We were at a lower vibration for sure. And we've been feeling a little, I'm going to use the word stuck, although you'll learn soon that was just one of our bullshit stories. And we needed a way to shift our energy out of that. And so this process really, really helped us. And we actually followed our intuition and our gut feeling that we needed to shift around our best life ever questions a little bit, and really dig a little bit deeper into a question that we've been asking ourselves for a few weeks now that we just love. And so we hope that this exercise, and we're going to guide you through it, will help you to kind of, if you're feeling stuck in any way, in any area of your life, that it's going to just bring back a little bit of that BLE buzz. Right, Pua?
Right. Bzz. This is it. Before we did this earlier, I was exactly what I described to you guys. I was grouchy. I was short. I was thinking about so many other things. And we first want to just frame this by telling you that it is not wrong to feel this way. And it's natural. And it's totally why this even exists in the first place, and why we feel like we need to share it with you, because it transformed something that we were both naturally feeling, but we often don't let ourselves show this on the outside. So what I mean by that is, like, say you're feeling stuck personally in some part of your life, and you know deep down that you're just feeling off. Things aren't moving forward the way that you hoped they would move forward, and you get up anyway, you go to work, and you go through your day, but you're not really present. You're not engaging with people. And then you go home, you're not really present with your family, you're not really engaging with your family. And then you go to bed, you can't sleep, your mind's racing. And that's kind of a state that many people will just survive through because it'll pass, they hope, right? But But in the meantime, you're missing opportunities, you're missing experiences, you're missing a whole day being your best self. And it's often because we don't allow ourselves to acknowledge what's going on and to be vulnerable and share. Like if I were to just be a grouch, people would be like, ugh, Pua's such a bitch. Like, why is instead of like, God, Pua's going through some stuff. She told me about this the other day and I'm here to support her. It's very different. And all it takes is a little bit of vulnerability on your end and just a little bit of honesty with yourself.
Yes. Yeah. And we forget like your true nature, you for sure, Pua, but everybody's true nature is light and love. And we are all infinite and expansive and abundant, right? And so, but things will creep in to dim that light, whether it be our experiences, whether it be, the shit that we're going through. And so the first question that we asked ourselves to really shine the light on whatever it is that's dimming our light is to ask ourselves the question, what bullshit stories are we telling ourselves to keep us from stepping into our power? So really absorb that question. Listen again. What bullshit stories are you telling yourself to keep yourself from stepping into your power, to keep yourself from letting your inner light shine, from keeping yourself from playing big, from keeping yourself from that best life ever? What bullshit stories are you telling yourself? We really encourage you to, whether it be to pause this right now and do a little journaling, or if you're driving, just remember, maybe just pause the thing, reflect on this as you're driving and see what comes up for you. And we'll share a little bit about some of the things that came up for us, which I thought this was it was one of those things, right? Where it's like, okay, well, let me try to think of one of these stories. And then it was like, we just opened the floodgates.
Our list is
right?
So long.
Oh my God. And then to just see this list of like all this BS that we're telling ourselves, like those are our limiting beliefs, right? Those are and it's so important, by the way, to call them bullshit stories and to use that, what does Tony Robbins call it? It's like that
limiting belief.
No, but it's like the language of, it's that shocking language that kind of, will shift your energy too, right? So like sometimes we say like, oh, what limiting beliefs that you have. And it doesn't really shake us up or wake us up enough. Like we need to kind of use language that's going to shock our systems a little bit, right? And say, yeah, hey, you know what? I call bullshit. I call bullshit on this because these stories, they are just that. They are BS. And so, in an act of brave vulnerability, we will share with you some of the things that came up for us, which are, not only does this feel so cathartic and healing, but it actually is kind of funny to look at your stories after. And when you call them for what they are, as illusions, it lightens it up and we can laugh a little bit more about them, right?
Sure, for sure. And it can be very challenging to do this when it's you, right? So sometimes it's helpful to think about you coaching you, but as a different person. Mm-hmm. So, what would I tell myself if I were someone else and I saw myself going through this, and I'm pushing against this one wall when there's a door that's unlocked like 3 feet away. And that's kind of the imagery that I see when we do this, because we can be so forward focused as people on a mission to achieve our best life ever, right? Like we want to achieve this dream and make this amount of money and reach this many people. And when we don't do those in the way we thought we would, we feel like we've failed. And sometimes we don't even notice that. And what really shook me up about all of this, like we'll share some more stuff on our list, but there's one that it disturbs me to my very core. And that's when Kimi said one of her stories was that she was letting me down in something that we were doing in our business or weren't doing. And that's just like, there's no truth to that at all on my end. Like I never feel that way. And it's it's a story. And because, this was never acknowledged, I didn't know she felt that way. So I wasn't going to tell her like, by the way, don't feel like you're letting me down.
Right.
But she never said it to me. So I didn't know, and like, it just wasn't true. And while we don't always have another person with us, we can think about this as like you in a private coaching session with yourself, right? So like if you say, God, this is too hard. What I'm trying to do is too hard and I can't do it anymore. Take a step back, say, is there another way? What is that really true? Sometimes it is true, but often it's not.
Yeah. I have to say, it was so healing to share that. And yeah, to put it out there as it is just a story running in the back of my mind, like I think that's I think I said it to you, right? It's the blessing and the curse of a partnership is that you feel doubly responsible for everything that happens in a business. Mm-hmm. And but also you feel doubly blessed and double excited anytime anything awesome happens, mm-hmm. right? And so it is so healthy and so wonderful. And, think about this beyond business partnerships, right? Like what BS stories do you have running through your relationships? Maybe your intimate relationships, your relationships with your family members, with your friends. And can you, in a moment of brave vulnerability, express some of those bullshit stories that you have and get them out there so that you can shine the light on them instead of having them be like this toxic undercurrent that is just running through your relationships. And I think that's what's powerful about this exercise, right? It's like, if I never said that to you, I would never, as you said, have the relief of, because why would you ever tell me like, hey, don't feel doubly responsible for everything? No one's going to ever say that. Like, it's just not something that, and so, yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun. And, it really does lighten everything. I feel like I was carrying around a backpack and like together, and like you were too, like we had this like backpack of rocks, right? That we've been carrying around with us, and we just like put it all down. And, that's what we hope that you can get out of this exercise, and to really just shine some light on that bullshit, friends. And I'll tell you a hilarious one, because I'm just looking at our list of all of our limiting beliefs here. And this one I think is so funny because, as you recall, I said, hey, welcome to Best Life Ever, blah, 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 your time and energy coaches, Kimi and Pua. One of our bullshit stories is that we don't have enough time and energy. Like, what the hell? And we know it's BS because we work on this every single day. And like this, we eat, sleep, and breathe time and energy hacks. And if I really take a step back, but it's just one of those old defaults that I go to. The reason that we are time and energy coaches is because this was a major pain point for us before, right? So sometimes when I get stressed and overwhelmed, I just naturally go back to that old story of like, oh my God, I don't have enough time to get everything done. And I forget that so much of my time and energy stress these days is self-inflicted, right? It's like, I'm not allowing myself to rest, or I'm trying to do too much, or whatever it is. And then it's funny because then it starts unraveling and uncovering all these other stories that we have that are beneath that, right? So if I say, oh, I don't have enough time, then it leads to me saying, I'm not working hard enough, right? I'm not doing enough. I don't have enough. Like all of it's like you start, realizing how cracked the foundation is of that statement, because it has all this other stuff underneath it too.
Mm-hmm. I think entrepreneurs, especially, not only, but I think they especially come up to this wall because, you are responsible for your own well-being. You're responsible for your own financial situation, your own business growth, right? Especially if you're a small business. And like, it's also the blessing and the curse of loving what you do and loving your business, because there's so like, I often feel like I don't have enough time because I want to do all the things. Like, it's exciting to me. And all these things are things that I want to do, but I want to do them all right now. And when I sit down and I do one of the things, in the back of my mind, I know that there are so many other things that I'm not doing. And it's, again, like, that's just not true. Like, there is more than enough time for all of the things, right? And on the flip side, if you hate your job, or if there's something that you don't love about your life, we feel like we don't have enough time because we don't have the motivation or the energy or the inspiration to do any of the things. So we feel like the list just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but it's not getting done. Or we do all of the little low-level tasks that feel like we're kind of getting little things done, but the big stuff never happens, right? So it's kind of that psychological thing that we come up against. But at the end of the day, it's just a story. It's not true, right? You have more than enough time. We all have more than enough time. And the beauty of that particular story is that Kimi and I spend our entire, we've dedicated our lives into hacking that for people. So if that's one of your stories, reach out to us, let us know, because we have some strategies that we'd love to share with you.
Yes. And isn't it funny that one of our stories that we uncovered, and I think it is good. It is fun to do this with a partner or a trusted friend, because as you're talking, like, right, we'd just be like kind of talking like this, and then we'd say something, and then we'd be like, oh, wait, oh my God, there's a story right there. And it's almost like you need that dialogue and that almost like emotional brain dump. And then you can pick the stories out of there. And, one of ours that came up was that we feel guilty when we play or when we have fun or when we quit working, as you said. And wow, that guilt is like, we hear that from a lot of our clients, that issue of guilt and the heaviness and like, when is enough work enough? And it's funny that the beautiful business that we've built is to address some of our biggest bullshit stories that we have running through, old stories and still current stories. And so look at what we've done, right? We've created Best Summer Ever, where our whole theme in Best Life Ever, BLE Fix this month is all about the power of play and joy and fun and not feeling guilty about working too much. About not working enough. And so we teach what we need to learn the most. And it's so awesome. It's so awesome. And so don't think it's a quote unquote bad thing to be experiencing all these limiting beliefs or bullshit stories. Know that they are serving a purpose, not just in your life, but in the lives of those around you.
You guys are actually our biggest inspiration, because this is a big one for me. I feel guilty and like I'm letting Kimi down if I go and do something fun and I'm not working on building our business. And
which, by the way, I was like, what?
I know.
Get out there and do have so much fun.
But seeing all of your posts, your Best Summer Ever posts, they're just beautiful. You guys are out at the park. You're watching the sunset. You're taking the kids out for a frozen treat. Like, they just bring us so much happiness and so much joy. And it really shows me, I know some of you personally, and I know that you guys are hard workers. You guys are successful humans. And to see that you are letting yourselves have fun, I'm just like, God, Pua, get over yourself. Go enjoy something. My God. So thank you for that inspiration. You guys are seriously amazing.
I love that too. And isn't it like a collective bullshit story that we have as a society that more work is better, right? Like we have this thing of like think of all the BS stories that are there in our society. And yeah, things are getting better thanks to like Tim Ferriss and the 4-hour work week, right? But it's like, we come from the society where it's like, no, you have to work then play and work harder and
earn your fun time.
Dollars for hours for dollars or whatever, right? Yeah, you have to earn your fun. And so more is not always better. And we'll get definitely more in depth in the fix about this month. But my gosh, the power of play is so important. And know this, that the harder you work, the harder you need to play. So it becomes even more and more important. And there's a lot of science behind the fact that, the more difficult or challenging your life is, or a season of your life is, the more vital it is to play more. And the more light and joy that you need to bring into that to balance that out. And it will give you more energy. And we don't think about that so much. And I've worked with, we've worked with many clients that is a really big BS story, is that they're not working enough. So
it's funny. I often think about our business as this, we're I don't know if there's a name for I forget if there's a name for the group in the Hunger Games, right? When Katniss is like starting that revolution against the Capitol, and we're just like we're shifting everybody's paradigms, right? Like it's Best Life Ever comes in and just tells you that the way that you're doing things isn't the way that it has to be. And to me, this is just like the most beautiful gift that we can give to the world. And I'm so grateful that we live in a time where working super, super hard for, 10, 12, 14 hours a day just doesn't have to be the reality anymore. We have technology on our side. We have all of these brilliant businesses that are like, you can do whatever you want because technology is there to support you and to spread the word and to help you reach the entire world. So like, now's the time, my friends.
Yes.
You want to do something? Like, do it. If you feel stuck because you feel like there's some kind of limiting belief that's telling you that you can't do something, reevaluate and let this be the moment where you say, I guess I can do it. Right? Like we are here to tell you that you can.
Right.
So
yeah, that's a great, way to look at it too. It's like, if you're not, perhaps you've been saying a story to yourself for so long that it's hard to recognize it as a bullshit story. And so what you could do as sort of a little offshoot of this exercise to help you get to this place is say, write down all the things that you think are true. What are all the statements that you think are true? All the things that you think are blocking you, all the things that you think are quote unquote truth in your life. And then evaluate each one, as Pua said, and say, is this actually true? Is there evidence that it could not be true? Do you want it to be true? And I think that's the most important thing. And if you don't want it to be true, then call it for what it is, which is a bullshit story that you get to change. That's your power.
For sure.
Yay. Okay. Can we just share like a couple more funny ones?
Yeah.
I think it's so hilarious. And then we're going to get to like, cause people are probably like, okay, I got my bullshit stories. Like, what do I do with them now? And, so here's just a few of them. I'll read some of the ones that just crack me up. This is something I think that is really interesting that comes up for us, for me a lot. And that is that like, I don't know what to do. I'm confused. Like I've tried everything like that. Those are very common BS stories that will run through my head. And I think through many people, and just know that it's okay to surrender to that confusion. And I have such a negative association with confusion because it's almost like the BS story that I have is like, oh, it's bad to be confused. But you can think about confusion as like the birthing point of creativity, right? And so if you can reframe it and change that to a more exciting story, then why not?
Yeah. Didn't Kyle Cease talk about that?
I think he did. Yeah, I think he said it's
He's like,
something
it's
about
good to be confused because that means that you're thinking about a different way to go about something or something like that, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. And confusion can be confusion to me is like a closet with the light off, but all you have to do is turn the light on.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Or just surrender to being in the dark and being like, it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, I don't like being in the dark. I don't like the dark.
Maybe that's a story.
No, it's not. I don't like nighttime. But like, if you think about being confused, it's just because you can't see the solution. You can't see the resources around you. So turn the light on. And all of a sudden you realize that you are abundant in resources and there's so many different ways to go about what you're trying to do. And also being confused, like it's not your fault. I also want you to get that out of your head. Like none of this is your fault and you're not doing anything wrong.
Totally.
It's just
that's another one of our BS stories, right? Like we're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Like
that's one that came up for us.
It wasn't a minute ago that it was the time. Like now's the time. Now you can acknowledge it and move forward. And it's just happening all at the right time. So
yeah. Okay, so now what? What do we do with our stories now that we have them, right? And like part of me wants to like, I want to just like put them in like a cauldron and burn them. Like I want to just have that visual, like take your stories, throw them in a friggin' bonfire. Maybe that would be a really cathartic exercise too, is write them all out and then set them on fire. But we have a more practical or an additional practical exercise for you. And that was the second question that we followed up this exercise with, which was, what could we do about it? So what could we do about all these stories that we're telling ourselves? And we very carefully are using the word could, right? Instead of should or have to or need to or like all those like heavy blah words. But what could you? Like so expansive, right? What could we do if we were feeling inspired or motivated to or felt the inspiration to? What could we do about it? And going from that place of these are just BS stories to, wow, what could we do? What could we do? Start throwing out some ideas, some fun, inspiring ideas that get you excited.
Yeah. And this really helped to kind of bring this exercise back down to earth. I tend to in my mind, I'm very visual. Can you guys tell? Like I'm always trying to make like visuals for things, but I see myself with my eyes closed in the first one. Like you're kind of meditating, right? You're trying to dig deep and pull all the junk out. And so this is where, but my eyes are closed and I'm like reaching for solutions. And this is where my eyes get to open and we kind of see the possibilities, right? This is where we turn the light on in the closet and we get creative. And out of this list, there are so many things that we brought out that it's not like it's nothing new. Like we didn't make this list, submit it to something, and then someone came over to our house and said like, well, here's what you can do. Like these are all things that were already inside of us, but this exercise helped to bring them out.
Yeah.
So it's like, you already have everything you need.
I think also it was interesting because as we went through it, it also brought out more bullshit stories, and that's going to happen too, right? Because like one of the things, right? Yeah, because what can we do about it? Oh, we could reach out to this person, and then like a bullshit story comes up that like, oh, we can't reach out to that person because blah 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 blah, right? So it's okay for this to bring out some more because again, the more light that you shine on all this BS, that's a great thing. It's a great thing. It's like, this whole exercise and this whole episode really is just about looking at your shit, being willing to look at it, right? I think about it like, here's a visual for you, Pua. It's like when, you can in your house, if your house is messy, right? Like you can like dim the light so that you don't see all the dust collecting in the corners, or you can just suck it up, put the lights on and deal with it. And it's almost like once you turn that light on, it just is always in the back of your mind. Like you can't forget that it's there. Right. And so, just trust in this process and be willing to look at your shit. It's okay. We all got it.
For sure. And this is step 2 of 3. So don't worry, there's another one coming. But this is like that big vision process that we walked you through where, be expansive, you can be practical. That's fine. But don't limit yourself here. Like what could you possibly do? What are all of the possibilities out there right now at your disposal that you already know about, but maybe forgot about or haven't acknowledged? Like what could you do? Because the next one is what will you do, right? So we like to call these our MEBAs, our most important big actions of the week.
MEBAs.
And
we like it because it sounds like amoeba. That's the only reason we like it.
Amoeba. So like this is where you get to take action. And you're not limited. You could just copy and paste everything from step 2 to step 3. That's fine. But if for some reason some of them seem like you don't want to or you can't do them right now, like this is where you get to pick and choose. But in step 2, allow yourself to dream a little bit. Because when we remove the limitations and allow ourselves to dream beyond what we think is possible, beyond those stories that we told ourselves in step 1, that's when confusion becomes creativity. And things will come to you that you didn't even like fathom. You couldn't have thought about it like if you sat down for 6 hours and just tried to write, like it just didn't come to you because you didn't realize that you were stuck in that way. So the order of this is important, but what's also important is that like release of judgments and expectations and limitations.
Right. Yeah. You could reach out to The Rock. You could, post your entire life story on Facebook. Like they're like, think big, think huge, think like expansive, and let that word of could just be sort of like the comfort of like, okay, nobody's like holding a gun to your head that you have to do any of these things. But then you can follow your excitement, and we do like to, of course, encourage people to get out of your comfort zone, but, follow what feels good to you. Like, don't do something that's out of alignment just because it was on list 2. Like, follow your inspiration, be courageous, but pull down into that list of, what you're going to take action on, your most important bold action, and do what you feel inspired to do in this moment. And then go back to that list later. You always have it there for you. Maybe you'll be inspired to reach out to The Rock next week, right?
To me, the biggest swear word in this whole episode is the word should.
Ugh.
And if at any point in step 3 that you find yourself thinking, oh, I should probably do this, don't do it.
Mm-mm.
That's like, should is like, it brings obligation, it brings guilt, it brings all the things that like eat away joy. So if a should comes with a, like, I want to, I'm excited to, I get to, then that's like, okay, I guess, but be very mindful of that word.
Mm-hmm. And see if you can reframe the have tos to get tos, as Pua said, like, yeah, there are things that, as business owners, perhaps, or as parents or whatever, as people in this world that we need to do that we're less than excited about, or that we have to do or feel like we have to do. But at least the one thing we can control is the energy that we have around it. So if there are things that you want to put into your most important bold action that don't excite you for whatever reason, but you do still feel like you want them there, then at least reframe it. At least say, wow, I'm blessed to get to do this because it's going to lead to my best life ever. I get to do this because it is tied to my greatest mission. And know that the power is also in the way that you frame these actions in your life.
Faux show.
Yeah. Another cool way to choose what your most important bold action is, your MIBAs, would be to figure out what those lead dominoes are. So of all the things, because sometimes it can feel overwhelming, right? It's like, okay, I have all my BS stories and now I have all the things that I want to do and now what? But look for the things that are going to have the biggest impact and get you to where you want to go, have that domino effect on everything else on your list.
Yes.
Yes. Wow, that was a lot. This is very exciting.
if this sparked anything in you, it brought up some emotions, it brought up some excitement. We are digging deep into this month in the Fix. And our theme for the month is Best Summer Ever in the Fix. So we're going to talk about all the ways that we can create more joy in our lives and more play. And but we're also going to talk about things like guilt. We've had a lot of people that's kind of been a theme, an underlying theme in like our coaching clients, and we've had people ask to do some guilt trainings. So I mean, it's not just going to be all best summer ever. Let's just go out and have margaritas, even though that's part of it. But yeah, we're gonna dig deep into this stuff, and we're really excited about the Fix. We have a lot of cool stuff coming. We have great giveaways this month. So if you guys have not yet given the Fix a try, you can try 30 days free. Just go to kimiandpua.com/ write this down, BLE Fix VIP30, and go ahead, try a month for free, fall in love with it, because we know you will. And after your month is done, we have a very limited time where we're honoring our introductory pricing. So it's $20 a month. And we are probably going to be shifting that at the end of summer. So get locked in and join us for July. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, we share all of our, all the things that we find kind of surrounding the topic. And I have to tell you, Pua, I found the best article on, in defense of binge watching television when it comes to like the guilt associated with binge watching Netflix. So I can't wait to share that because I have to say, I've been doing a lot of binge watching lately and I was feeling really guilty about it. I was like, wow, there's a story right there, a bullshit story that I have that binge watching Netflix is bad. And yet we all do it.
Binge watching is healthier than watching things week to week. Like that's so 2001.
Oh, right. Yeah. Might as well get it all, be efficient, get it all done all at once.
Exactly. There's just too much emotional attachment when you have to cut something off and come back to it next week.
There's such
like
good
let yourself
quality
catch up
shows
again.
now.
It's like, silly.
Oh man. Well, this was a great exercise, a great day in the best life ever experience for me. So thank you, Pua. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I'm feeling the best life ever buzz for sure. And we hope that all of you do. Please reach out. Please join our tribe. It is such an awesome place to be. And you'll find everything you need in the show notes. Have an awesome week, guys. We love you.
Guys, wait, before you go.
Yeah.
I want you to do this. I want you to tell yourself how awesome you are right now.
Yes.
Okay. Step 2, go to Facebook, search Best Life Ever, the tribe, and ask to join. We have some questions, and one of them is, have you told yourself how awesome you are today? And just too many people answer no. So answer do that, and
hook
then
up your future self.
Ask to join the tribe. Huh?
Hook up their future self by telling themselves right now.
I just want more people to say yes. It's really important to us.
It is. Well, we think you are awesome. So have an awesome week, your best week ever, week after week after week. We love you guys.
Love you.